Halito Chimachugma, this is Chief Steve coming at y'all with another one, another episode of True Story. And here we're coming down to the book of The History of the American Indians by James Adair. Is approximately he was approximately living between 1709 and 1783. Publication date is 1775, and this is regarding the Indians of North America. Now, I've been through this book before. Like I said, James Adair is one of those anthropologists or antiquity writers that, a lot of ones who do this research, they know of really well. And he had his reserved words about who we are, and he likes to sprinkle a little falsity in there as well. Or what I would say an exaggeration on some things, and really causes for discernment in a lot of the things that he brings forward. But with that even being said, it was some things that he just could not shake, which was in particular what we look like. He had very broad detail as to what we look like, and even had the nerve to say that our color, our skin color, what our complexion is it has to be something made up, like it had to be man-made or something. Rather, it's, we were out in the sun too long, or we've been in a particular region too long and it changes back if we were to go out into the cold and this and that and the other. Our skin never did that. And those who are real ones, the Aborigines of the Americas, my Nijis, y'all know, we go into the cold, what happened? We may look a little ashy, we may get a little off color, but what is still remaining the same? We still have our melanin. Our melanin stays intact. We don't go from pale to peachy and, all the way to dark sunburnt. The only people who do that are, those who are not rich in melanin. So, but the people that he was dealing with in particular, sorry, let me throw this back around real quick. And then let me lock the screen real quick. Hold on, y'all. All right. Okay. But yeah, when we talk about our complexion, our melanin, our rich melanin, we know that we don't change colors. We're not a different kind of species of people or creatures or animals that change colors during the season. We know who we are. We know how we work. But that's one thing that he had one of the exaggerations that he had implied in a lot of his writings, or in some of his writings rather. But regardless, he does state what our true color is, and that's one of the first things that he talks about in this book. So we're just going to go over that, and I'm going to give you guys an example of what that is, an illustration, as well, as far as like bring visual to the actual word verbatim. So, but yeah, the reason why I'm presenting this to you guys right now is strictly because, we've had a lot of talk going on about the red Indians, and, oh, you guys aren't red, you guys are black. How can you be talking about you guys, and, we're not talking about red, we're not talking about black people. He never said black. He said they're red, or they're copper color. Well, if you look at red and copper color on the spectrum, the color copper on the spectrums, you can see clearly that, he's referring to us, the so-called, and I hate to say it, the so-called black people of America. And that's been proven to be a complete misnomer, because you look at the color black, look at the street out on the road, you look at the color of your TV when it's off. Look, turn your screen off real quick. I'll wait. Turn your phone screen off, or turn your TV off, and really look at that color and see, match that to your skin. Put your forearm up to that screen and see if you match that color. You don't. So black in itself, calling somebody black, there is no such thing as a black person, you know. But there are deeper hues of copper that can look almost black, and that's what we were. That's what we are today. And we are all over the spectrum, from your red bone, from your peachy looking copper, all the way down to the deepest hue of copper that almost look like they said black. But bottom line is it is not black. And I'm going to show you guys that today. But before I get into that, let's get into the actual writing here where he says who the North American Indians are, what they look like. So without further ado, let's get into it. Once again, this is the history of the North American Indians, their customs. And it says right here, on the color, observations on the color, shape, temper, and dress of the Indians of America. The Indians the Indians are of a copper or red clay color, and they delight in everything which they imagine may promote and increase it. Accordingly, they paint their faces with vermilion as the best and most beautiful ingredient. Okay, so what are they saying? What did he say right here? Indians are of a copper or red clay color. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Let's look right now and see. I'm going to pause for the cause and see what a copper or red clay color looks like. First, I'm going to show y'all the red clay color because that is the biggest confusion that people are starting to, get into. It's like, oh, you got copper and then you got red clay, red, let's look at what red is on the spectrum. Y'all ready? Let's pause for the cause and let's get into it. All right, y'all, we're back. Without further ado, Google red clay, go to the images, go to pottery, and check this out. This is red clay. All right, red clay. What does that say right there? Red clay, pottery. Who has the skin tone of red clay? Huh? Y'all let me know. Who has the skin tone of red clay? Look at this right here, red clay series, Gary Childs pottery. Right here on the second to right image. I can't really click on these things or zoom into it. So, look at this top part. Look at the top. 1, 2, 3. Third to the right. Look at that. The red clay series. Who looks like that color? Put your hand and put your put your right there. See, boom, there it goes right there. Put your forearm, really match it. Look at that. What is terracotta made of? It's made out of clay. Look at that clay. Okay? This is red clay. So, like I said, it's right there. All right? And we can even go deeper. I just showed y'all red clay. So, let's go back. Let's get into the copper. Copper color. Look at this. Look at this copper. This is all copper right here. Come on now. And this is mostly hair colors. Let's get into the copper color spectrum. Let's get into the spectrum of things. You got your 50 shades of copper. Huh? You got copper on a different, on all kinds of levels. You have different hues of copper. So let's see here, the shades of copper. 50 shades of copper. You got your dark copper, light copper, pale copper, copper red, medium copper, burnt copper, antique copper, autumn copper, beaten copper. So, you know what I mean? Even the light copper, you got some red bones out there. You can't tell me you don't have no red bones out there. You know? So-called mulattoes, those ones that you said it can pass, but you clearly see in they facial what they look like, you know? And I'll even show you guys a old video that I did on here. We'll bring it back. We'll take a blast from the past. Let's pause for the cause and let's get to that. All right, y'all, we're back. This is a video that I did a while ago. Are we black or copper skinned? Let's talk about it. And we did indeed break it down. But what I had on here as a still frame was the most accurate copper color spectrum on here. Um, this wheel right here that shows the different shades of copper. And I'm going to zoom in on this. I'm not going to play the video. You guys want to see the video, you can check that out on my channel. I gave y'all the title there. It's a good one. It's about 10 minutes long. It's not bad. It's one of my first ones, so you know, I'm still getting used to the whole video thing and how to lay it out to where people can see it clearly. But either way, it was pretty good. Y'all go ahead and check that out. You know, bump me up in the algorithm. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, get the information out there. Do the same for this video. But yeah, as you can see right here, you have copper. You have copper here from the lightest all the way to the darkest. And you can see that. And you can even tell in between the screens here. It's one thing that I made, you know, made very clear. Look at the top of the screen. Look at the top of the screen. All this right here. That's black. Okay? I'm showing you black right now. You're looking at black. Okay? What person on this planet do you know looks like this? Nobody. I guarantee you. If you do run across somebody that looks like that, let me know. Send me a picture. Look in the comments, or rather in the description. You got my social medias. I'm on TikTok. I'm on X. Send me a picture. Tag me in it of a person that looks like this. Nobody looks like that. You give me a picture of this, I'll give you $100. You show me a picture of somebody that's pitch black like this, I will give you $100 out of my pocket. And this, you can't count this right here on this side, on the far right. I can't get all the way exact to it, but you're gonna find somebody all the way on the far right here, before you find anybody that's just straight up like this. You see anybody like this, you probably gonna run the other way because you're gonna think it's a damn alien. I guarantee you're not gonna find nobody like that. Even the people in Sudan, the Sudanese people don't even get just colorless like that. That's colorless right here. This is just complete colorless. It's nothing. That's the absence of color. This right here is copper. So when I say that we are the copper colored people, that's what I'm talking about. Copper can go from the red bone, palest looking copper, all the way to the darkest, richest copper. Okay? And that's what James Adair saw out here. That's what he saw. Period. We range from a copper to a reddish clay. copper to reddish clay. And you see it's different shades of copper. And it's different shades of the reddish clay, like I showed you. But what they all look the same, don't they? They all pretty much look the same. That's why I said a copper or reddish clay color. Choose one, pick one. I just showed y'all what the red clay look like, and now I'm showing y'all what the copper spectrum look like. So pick and choose one. All right. And we liked our likeness so much that we adorned ourselves and everything that looked like us. We made our likeness. All right, so we're gonna get forward into the writing so you can go in a little further how much we liked ourselves. All right, let's pause for the cause one more time. Like I said, this video right here, are we black or copper colored skin? Let's talk about it. Check it out in True Story. So let's move forward. All right, y'all, here we go. So let's just go ahead and start from the beginning. The Indians are of a copper or red clay color, as I showed you, and they delight in everything. When they imagine which they imagine may promote and increase it. Accordingly, they paint their faces with vermilion as the best and most beautiful ingredient. Vermilion is another color of red. It's a deeper hue of red, almost brown looking. And if we consider the common laws of nature and providence, we shall not be surprised at this custom. For everything that loves best its own likeness and place in the creation, and is disposed to ridicule it is disposed to ridicule its opposite. So they according to him, he's saying that we basically praised our color. We looked at our we looked at ourselves as real beautiful, and then those that were opposite, uh, you know, it wasn't cracking for us. We wouldn't. And he goes on to say, it says, "We shall not." Uh, or we go down a little further. It says, "If a deformed son of burning Africa was to paint the devil," and see, that's where I said that's where that he throwing shade. Now he's throwing shade at a deformed son. Nobody's deformed. But he's gonna say, if a deformed son of burning Africa was to paint the devil, he would not do it in black colors. So now he's using the black. He's throwing shade. But we saw that there is no such thing as a black person. So they are copper colored as well. They are a deeper hue of copper. And it says they don't do it in black colors, nor delineate him with a shagged, coarse, woolly head, or nor with thick lips. So they're saying basically they're not going to paint him in the image of what they look like. No thick lips, no short, flat nose, or clumsy feet like those of a bear. So he's throwing shade. He's throwing mad shade at the Africans, and we already know there was no such thing as, even Africa itself is a misnomer. And I went into that in my last video that I threw down. It's part of this double feature. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and get back to that. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And it says, his devil would represent one of a different nation of people. But was he to draw an agreeable picture according to the African taste, he would daub it all over with footy black. So once again, he's going with that black crap again. But then, he already said it's red or copper color, but he want to throw shade at the Africans because they done did they work out there and they already proved that they don't like them. And yeah, they trying to get in with us right now. So they're trying to flatter us. But now, as we see today in 2023 going into 2024, what are they calling us now? And what have they been calling us since, at least since the 60s? They've been calling us black just like they've been calling the African black. But anyway, it says all the Indians are so strongly attached to and prejudiced in favor of their own color that they think as meanly of the whites as we possibly can do of them. Okay, so the shade is on both sides. So he's saying that we think meanly of them just like they think meanly of us. Yet who's taking who in? Who's taking care of each other, of one, and who's showing each other how to farm, showing ones how to farm and stuff? Is it not us that did that for them, took them in out here? No, come on. And then on top of that, they had made their way. And we started by this time, it's the 1700s. We know about their ways. We done let them in, and they done built their own shit. They built their own stuff rather, and now we know their game. So now we thinking meanly, like he said. So he ain't lying. So let's keep on. It says the English traders among them experience much of it and are often very glad to be allowed to pass muster with the Indian chieftains as fellow brethren of the human species. And now he's trying to do that whole, like I said on that last video, that whole illusion of inclusion, where we're all humans, we're all human species, we're all creatures in this planet, blah blah blah. But like I told you before, the Aborigines, the true original inhabitants of this planet, are not creatures. We're not humans. We're not species. We're not animals. We are people. We are living sentients. We are soul people of this planet. We are not animals. We're not humans. It says one instance will sufficiently show in what flattering glasses they view themselves. It says some time past, a large body of the English Indian traders on their way to the Chata, and it's not Choctaw, it's not Choctaw, it's Shata, Shata. So they passed through the Chata country, where escorted by a body of Creek, which are the Muskoki, the Okmodi, the the Amasi. They were escorted by the Creek and the Chata warriors. The Creeks, having a particular friendship for some of the traders who had treated them pretty liberally, take this opportunity to shy to shy the Chata, the Shatas. It says before the traders in a smart though friendly way for not allowing to the English the name of human creatures. Okay, so it says they're basically not regarding them they in a friendly way. They're not putting them on the same level as them. It says for the general name they give us in their most favorable war speeches resembles that of a contemptible heterogeneous animal. And if y'all don't know what a if y'all don't know what a heterogeneous animal is, basically what heterogeneous means is something that's opposite, there's something that's not, something that's foreign. So and you can see they call themselves humans, they call themselves species, they call themselves animals, and that's what we regarded them as. That's what they labeled themselves as, and that's what we regarded them as, heterogeneous animals. That's what they wanted to be known as, and that's what they called themselves, and that's exactly what our people did. In the most friendly way, as he said, in the most polite way, we let them know that they are not on the same level as us. We are living people, okay? But we saw their ways and we saw how they've been moving, how they've been acting, to where we said, hey, maybe they is animals. These are war speeches. And a lot of our wars had to go against who? The foreigners. And when we let them know and when we spoke on them, we called them for what they were. We called them those heterogeneous animals, for a lack of a better term, in James Adair's vocabulary. But, you know, you know how we get, man. How we be capping on people. We cap on each other, man. We call each other out of our names sometimes, but you gotta imagine there's been wars going on. It's the 1700s. We've been in a war, you know. So when we had them war speeches and we talking, when we hyping each other up, you already know what time it is. We know who we talking about, and we saw their ways and how they treated us, and they really treated us as if, and with no regard to living camaraderie from person to person. They did not look at us as people. So they treated us like animals, but in that way, they showed their real animalistic nature. Only an animal would know how to treat an animal. You feel me? So yeah, we called them what they was, and they knew what they were. Hence why he said resembles that of a contemptible heterogeneous animal. But I'm gonna stop right here. Like I said, this is the history of the American Indians by James Adair. And if y'all want to get into this book, y'all can. like I said, just really keep a serious eye of discernment, because as you see, James Adira is one of them ones that was not afraid to throw shade at anyone and anybody that did not look like him. So do not take a lot of what he says real literal. I mean, things that, I mean, you can look at the red and the copper color. That's something, you got to research. Like I showed you, I gave you backup sources to that. You really need to discern and see what's true and what's not when it comes to this guy. But one thing that he would not, even in all his shade, he will, when it comes to describing what people look like and stuff, he was pretty much, he was pretty much on it. He's one of the first ones to really say that we are who we were. And he said it in his own colorful way, but nonetheless, it was the truth. So, but a lot of the other things about the customs and how we, uh, how we conducted ourselves and, different things of that nature, keep in mind, this guy was an outsider looking in. So really have that eye of discernment. Make sure you back up, get back up on everything that he says and search it out, look it out for yourself, especially when it comes to the physical demographics of how he described us. Just like I showed you what the red or copper clay looked like, he was on it on that. But then he started talking about the Africans are black and footy black and all that shit. You need to really, like I said, do your research, look, and don't take everybody's word for granted. Don't even take my words for granted. Just look it out, look it up, and look for yourself. Research it for yourself. But anyway, this is Chief Steve signing off. This is the second video of the day that I threw down. I'm gonna be taking a break um, into the new year, so expect something coming from me after New Year, after this Western New Year, after January 1st. I'll be dropping some more to y'all. So everybody enjoy the rest of this winter harvest season. If y'all celebrate Christmas, all power to y'all. Do y'all thing. If y'all don't, like me, then hey, it's just another day. Keep on living, stay strong, stay healthy, stay vigilant, and Tatakista. I cherish y'all. I always cherish y'all. All of my subscribers. Um, all my followers on different social medias. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Wish y'all nothing but health, wealth, and prosperity going into this new year. Let's keep this energy strong. Let's keep this vibration going into this new year, strong into 2024, as we awaken our people and we show the world who we truly are as the copper colored Aborigines of this plain, of this landmass, as the Red Indians, as the Copper Indians, as the Aborigines. All right, stay true to who you are. Tatakista and Yakuki.